And so, what are the best ways in pronouncing that R sound that you just mentioned?
Right. Yeah, that's see it's tricky because this is I can honestly say this is probably the chief obstacle that a lot of my student has. So what's how do we head that question? Pronounce the R. Okay? So huh, I would say if I said I'm going to an award ceremony, many of my students, particularly from Latin countries, from Eastern Europe, from South Asia, from the Middle East, they would say, I'm going to an award ceremony, like that. So generally people with that accent, like I said, South Asia, Latin countries, Eastern European, Middle East, they roll the R all the time. Okay. Now, what one rule that I can give you, and as you know, if you work with me, there's never set rules. Every rule has 20 exceptions, right? So I don't like to use rules, but one applicable rule, there is one R sound in American English. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about dropping it for New York or Boston or Georgia. I'm not talking about that dropped R with regional accents. I'm talking about the standard North American way of speaking. There is one R sound. R. The red robot rode the rusty rocket. Okay, now I did not change my R sound at all. Red robot rode rusty rocket. R. Now, again, we have to think, is it at the beginning? Oh, sorry. Beginning, middle, end of a word, okay? Doesn't matter. The R always stays the same. So we did rusty, robot, red, rocket, road, riding. If it's in the middle of a word, um, normal, forever. Okay, if it's at the end of a word, appear, never. Or if it's at the beginning of a word, right, really. Okay, I didn't change the sound of the R. Normal, forever, appear, never, right, really. It's the exact same sound, that standard North American sound. You don't know if I'm from Connecticut or Ohio or Michigan or California or Oregon. This is the standard received North American pronunciation. There is one R sound only. So those are some key things that you can keep in mind, and that should help. This is the toughest one. I got to be honest. This is tough. My East Asian students, China, Korea, Japan, if I say terrible, they say teleber. It's not right or wrong. It doesn't. It's not like one's correct, one's incorrect. It stands to reason. These accents, these languages, they all developed in relative isolation around the world over centuries. So English was way over here. East Asia is way over here. It stands to reason that certain letters are going to have different sounds depending on where you're from in the world. So that L and R reversal with people from East Asia is a unique issue, but it does affect 100%. So yeah, the R sound is one that is key. It is the most important letter for accents. And in our classes, we do work on that extensively with a lot of reading material.
Ah, that makes sense. That's really awesome to actually learn.
Okay,
Really informative.
good.
Um,